Good evening, guys.
Hey.
Hey, it's Mezzo. I'm here. It says Angry Mama because I'm just having one of those evenings. So I hope you guys are all doing well. We got Anthony and Graveyard here with us.
Hello.
And I know we have more coming in soon, but we wanted to get started. How have you guys been this week? You're a loaded question, my dear.
Okay,
that is a loaded question.
Who wants to go first?
You have
I'll
a better
go first since I won't stay on very long. I'll go ahead and go. I came down with like some really bad flu. It wasn't COVID. Took a test. I know, Saywang, we don't know where Van is at the moment. Hopefully we'll find him soon. And like a Saturday night, I stayed at my mom's because I was going to be waking up and leaving with her at 4:30 in the morning to take her to the airport. Ended up just not sleeping at all that night. I wasn't feeling great either. I could tell I was getting sick. So I took her to the airport and went to church because I work at church Sunday mornings. I run the stream and everything, kind of like how I do this, but it's a bit more complicated there. And I hadn't set anything up, and I wasn't sure if the person I trained, like for in case I get sick, was going to be there or not. Hi, he's at Sac Anime. Well, hello.
Oh, that's cool.
Fun. And then he was there, so I said, "Can you take over?" And then I went to the church office and slept on the floor of the office for church. And then I went home and then slept for 4 more hours because I was just not feeling good. And then I got up and even though I was still sick, I went out and got dinner for my family from takeout. And that is when I sent our dear Forrest this video of saying, "I'm sick." Like Anthony did a very good impression of it earlier. He was like, "Hey,
yes, one of these, like,
yeah." Yeah. Like, you know, when you get to that old age and when you laugh too hard, you start coughing like that.
Oh God, I call that the grandpa cough.
Yeah.
You know, you've made me laugh really, really genuinely when I'm like, like it's deep, it's guttural, it makes my face like turn bright red like it is now, and tear up. I tear up. It's fun.
Anyway, so I was actually ended up being in bed for like 2.5-3 days straight.
Ew.
And I was sleeping probably like 10 hours, like including like nighttime and then during the day. And I usually don't sleep at all during the day. I'm like, I'm a mom with kids. I don't sleep.
Yeah.
During the day. So that was like a lot of how my week went. And then this evening I'm having issues because my computer is not working properly in so many aspects. And poor Graveyard here got to hear, being the IT guy, he got to hear the majority of my complaint. Like, yes. I do editing for the channel for everyone who doesn't know, and my program won't render any of my videos. It keeps freezing 15% done, and now I can't get anything done. I don't know why yet. I'm going to try some other things. Graveyard sent me some stuff to try, and I had to go get dinner for family again tonight, and so I didn't have time to try it yet. So that's how my week has been. How about you guys?
Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to Kyber Cave After Dark. As you can tell, we're missing like our main host. I seriously hope he's safe and well. I don't know because with all goddamn storms lately, everyone's like power has been out. So hi, welcome. My name is Anthony Allen, aka Rubik's Q Arcana, aka Sidorian, because I'm weird. Other than that, I'm happy to be back. It's been like 2 weeks since I've been here. Shit, the end of the year really fucked me up. But yeah, as far as my week's been going, had a fun, interesting Christmas. Got a few things that, I was not anticipating as gifts. Got a PS5.
Oh, snap!
I know. I also got chlamydia.
I mean, you can just weigh the balance between.
That's what happens when me and my partner, we're like, if we find a third, we got to make sure that they're vetted. But it's okay, we're fine. We tested negative apparently, so I don't know. Maybe it was just like a UTI. Who knows? Outside of that, I made it my New Year's resolution. Hi, Forrest. Nice of you to join us.
Hi.
To do a dry January. Because I wanted to make sure I could like actually test myself and just like kind of tackle sobriety for the most part, even though I still do weed. But like I've stopped smoking cigarettes. I've stopped drinking. I have not had either since New Year's Eve. And like for the most part, I just have raging insomnia already, so like I can't sleep for shit unless I take meds. But I do feel a lot better. I feel like I've lost weight. Like I don't see a double chin anymore. I don't feel as puffy.
The one thing I don't see is like when Forrest told his story and you were drinking because of that flat tire you had and you were bright red. And
right.
Like,
no, I know. I get the Asian flush is what they call that, like the alcohol allergy, which I've noticed that recently too. Like if I was drinking heavily, like I'd break out all over, and I was like, this is new. But on top of that, I thought I had bumped my elbow on something and had like a bruise.
Oh, I saw your post about it.
Yeah. And like 3
goodness.
days later, it was just all swollen and red. And I was like, well, I guess I better go see a doctor. This isn't normal. And sure enough, I had some sort of infection. We don't know what caused it. We don't know if it's a bug bite or what. But it forces me to go on antibiotics regardless. And because of that, it's like reinforcing that you cannot drink. You cannot break this right now. Because obviously, if you drink alcohol, those don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's just kind of playing into the whole thing. I have other stuff regarding my drag show, but I don't want to drone on for 20 minutes. So we'll move past that.
I've both texted and Facebook messaged Van and have not heard back. So I don't know.
Maybe he's passed out.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I pray for you, Van. We love you. We missed you. Please tell me you're safe. Message us soon.
Call him.
Yes. Berate him. Bitch, it's 8:20. Where are you? Graveyard, how are you doing?
Pretty not as fun week as you guys had, obviously, but yeah, it's still. I had one night. I have a sleep apnea machine, so I have to take it because of medication I'm on. It doesn't wake me up to breathe. So there's a new thing it's doing with you put water into it and it's supposed to steam up. Well, it's been not steaming and condensing, so it then runs water into my face while I'm sleeping. So I've turned it off, and then without that, I can't sleep. So I didn't get sleep a couple nights this week, and then stayed up decently late past couple nights and a couple nights this week for content creation.
Oh, my second day of sobriety, I stayed up for like 30 hours, and yeah, that was special. I had to be force-fed Benadryl and melatonin last night so I could fall asleep, and then I slept for like 13 hours. So now I'm going to be up for another 28.
Oh, and Say Wong says it's because Van forgot his login credentials. We said 12:01 a.m.
No, he replied. He replied just now, although I'm not. I think he might have fallen asleep or something. I'm not sure.
Oh.
He didn't really say what he was doing.
Okay.
I just said, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Sorry, okay, air right now." And I'm like, "No, we were on 10 minutes."
Hey guys.
And once he's on, I know that I can sign off without the broadcast being ended. Because that was what happened one time. So for those at home who don't know, we had an unsolicited dick pic as a topic a long while back. And I am the one who went live, like started the live for it. And I was worried that if I exited, that it would end the broadcast, right?
Did I miss that one?
You might have. I don't remember.
Damn it!
No,
it was like 2
there?
months ago,
You were there.
Okay, I was about to say, I just hope so.
This was
That's
like 2
my
months
forte.
ago. And I had it on my downstairs computer, which is where I stream from normally. And my son went to go play on the computer like an hour later, and I forgot. And I went, oh no. And I run back there, and he's sitting there, and he has the same kind of look Forrest does right now. He just kind of looked at me and was like, Mommy, they're saying bad words. And I was like, oh no. He was like 8 years old and 9 years old at the time. So Van is coming on.
Right. Well, while we're waiting for that, Mr. Forrest, you're looking rather lethargic at the moment. Are you okay?
Grand total, let's see. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In the last 3 days, I have exercised a grand total of 6 hours.
Oh God.
I am worn the fuck out.
It reads well on you. I could see that.
I'm tired.
We appreciate your dedication and being here with us tonight, given your fatigue.
The dedication was going to be when I step off that damn plane. That's where it's going to make its difference, because
Is that the goal? You're like, I'm going to be snatched when I reach California.
Shit. The first words I want out of anybody's mouth when I get there is, holy shit, Forrest, you pulled it off. You did it.
Writing it down so when I pick you up from the airport.
I'm going to say it in
holy shit, Forrest. In my sick voice. Like, man, when I'm sick. I can't do it again.
Honey,
Forrest, you did it.
I'm gonna need you to Metso, I'm gonna need you to pull up your big girl green screen now.
Yeah, my big girl green screen. Oh my goodness, it still makes me laugh every time. I actually I showed my therapist those videos.
Wow.
I was telling her how much fun we were having, how I've been sick, and how you guys were making me laugh. And I was like, so I said, he was like, "Come on, you can go live." And I was like, "No, I told you I'm sick," and so I sent this video. And then I was like, and he replied, my friend Forrest replied with this. Hey, Bucky. That's my friend over from New Rockstar.
I know that name.
Yeah, Bucky Barnes. Yeah, you know, that's Graveyard.
Yeah, it's Graveyard. Yes.
And I showed her yours, and she's like, and I was like, I knew right away that he was joking. But there was always, I'm kind of a gullible person, so there's like that one minuscule part of me, they're like, or maybe it's just anxiety going, oh no. Oh wait, okay, he's joking. Oh no, it's hilarious, you know. But he's a big girl green screen, so I'm just like, I have 2 green screens and I don't use them.
Hi, Bucky Barnes. I see you in the comments. We haven't had any comments pop up on the screen yet, but I'm looking at the column.
Oh yeah, that's my fault. I haven't.
It's okay. He said the F word. Good for him. So Forrest will appreciate this. Again, my background is Miss Valkyrie profile. I finally got to play one of my favorite RPGs of all time because it dropped December 22nd on my new PS5, especially for the 2 days I was out of work because my elbow was fucked up, and I beat that shit so fast. Like, I'm so happy I finally got to do it. But you know what sucks? My PS5 keeps shutting itself off, and I looked up this thing, and apparently they're saying that I need to clean the dust out of it. I'm like, bitch, it's 2 weeks old. What dust did it accrue? Was it from the fucking shop that it sat in for like 3 years because we couldn't get one? Like, I don't understand.
Is it? It's not vertical, is it?
No.
Okay.
And I saw that too. I started with it vertical, and then we moved it to the other room and made it sideways. And I was like, oh, apparently you're not supposed to have vertical. Well,
there's nothing like around it, I'm assuming, as well. It should have well circulation. That it shouldn't be.
Mine's been vertical since I've owned mine for almost a year now. It's perfectly fine.
I don't know. I saw an article recently. Google listens to me on my phone, so I'm not surprised. It's like, hey, this could be the reason.
Weird.
But yeah, it is very strange. It's like I really don't want to have to trust myself to take my whole console apart to blast it with a duster.
You know what though? I mean, the newer models this year don't have the same heat shield that the originals did.
So you think it might be overheating?
Yeah,
possible.
Considering it's in a more confined spot because it doesn't have room on the TV stand, I wouldn't actually be surprised on that. I'll move it. I'll just move shit around and get it to where it's like fully out in the open, be free like a leaf in the wind. Well, I know that we're still waiting for Van to get on, but we are also at like the 8:30 mark. Do we want to get into topics?
Yes, let's get into topics. First topic, let's go ahead and start with the heavier topic so we line on something fun. Pharmaceuticals and food.
Oh shit! And Van wanted to be here for this one too.
Yes, he did.
He's got like
hurry his happy ass in and jump in board while we get into this whole tizzy. By the way, sober Anthony really relates into the hyper ADHD Anthony, so you're going to notice me be a little bit more bouncy.
Oh God,
I don't know if you guys can see me when the whole music's playing. I was all like.
You and the missus are going to be bouncing off each other tonight.
Fuck,
I can see
we
it.
are. It's going to be great. Hi, Aubrey. How are you doing? All right.
Oh my God, Anthony, it's so good to see you.
On Saber Rattle nights, during like the opening, I'm like this down below, like just rocking out. Yeah, I'm like, and then I'll try. I was actually told Van this, but I'll try to make him laugh during the interview because he can see me down below, and I'll have my saber, and I'm like, like trying to like.
Is that why he disappears so often?
Not in After Dark, but during the interview, he's giving the interview. No, I can tell you why he disappears often, but I won't tell you now.
Speaking of your bounciness, Anthony, I don't know if you saw my message. We need to get you on Retro Alcove.
Retro.
I messaged you on Facebook.
Which Facebook?
Ooh, that's a great question. We'll discuss later.
Okay, we'll discuss later. Yes.
So up and coming. So Aubrey is going to be
Mhm.
taking over one of the Retro Alcove episodes, if not a few, because she's doing Mario RPG, and we're all going to be there for it.
Yes, we are.
Because I sent her something very, very nice for Christmas, so she's going to be very happy playing that.
I bet.
Because Mr. Forrest comes through. That's why.
Yes.
I'm still mad. Okay, so I bought one of those like converter Nintendo, Super Nintendos that works on an HD TV just because I found a copy of Super Mario RPG. Like I'd never finished it in my young adolescent life. And then I went all crazy and bought a bunch of Super Nintendo games at Stockton Con. Fucking Donkey Kong Country will not read on it. It says that this device is not supported on this thing. Like, it has a whole different screen. It's acting like it's not a console. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Wait, so you have your system can actually read the real cartridges?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to send you a link to something later on. It's called an EverDrive, and you can have literally every single game in existence on it.
Wait, what?
Yes. we will make this happen. I promise you.
Okay, this was my look when I opened my PS5. I'm excited now.
Wait, do that face again. Do that face again. Okay.
Because this guy over here got something last week or this week.
Is it going to have Valis 3 on it?
I'll have you know, sir, that I actually fired up Valis 1 about a week and a half ago.
Ooh.
And that shit is hard.
I bet.
so
I mean, I never played it, but the third one was hard too.
All right, so let's get to the topic though, because we get distracted again.
Sorry,
ADHD.
And somebody's finally about to join us.
Sparkles.
I'm not All right, bye, Jedi Knight. Jeff, have a good time watching Swamp Thing. Becky, I need to know about this Forever Drive.
Stone Age gamer. Seriously. That's where you get
pharmaceuticals and food.
Yes.
Why America is actually poisoning us. Go.
Okay. Give me the screen.
Okay, wait. I have to figure out how to do this part. It's kind of weird to do it from my laptop.
All right, so here's the dealio. One of the biggest epidemics going on in humanity at the moment is type 2 diabetes. We already know this. Type 2 diabetes, also, if you don't know, is treated, keyword treated, with a magical little drug. It's mainly harmless. It's called metformin. Metformin is what brings down your blood sugar. Keeping your blood sugar low is only treating a symptom of the real core root problem, which is the food. Because when you eat processed crap, when you eat stuff that's too high in carbohydrates, too high in simple sugars, a little hormone called insulin increases. And then what happens is that inflammation starts to occur in your body. Getting all sciencey on you. So when this happens, naturally your blood sugar levels rise. So, hey. So when this occurs, you go to the doctor and you find that not only are you putting on weight, your liver function is sucking balls. You've got all kinds of complications happening the older you get, things like vision problems, feet problems, trouble losing weight if you're trying, gout, all sorts of crap, like all of your innards, all of your insides. Picture, if you will, a straw, like a regular McDonald's straw. Now picture that straw getting puffy on the outside, right? It's getting all, it poofs up. Now picture the inside of that straw poofing on the inside. So if blood are supposed to run through all of these tubes and organs and whatnot, and it freaking can't, what do you think happens? Then you run into intestinal issues. You run into heart issues. So what they're telling people is that you take these meds that, reduce a symptom of the problem. However, when you go and get your labs and everything checked, you're still freaking diabetic. Oh, but my blood sugar's lower. Yeah, fantastic. Great for you. But you haven't cut the bullshit eating. So what is the bullshit you need to stay away from? Obviously, you need to stay away from things like processed food. What is a processed food? Basically anything that comes in a bag and a box. That would mean your heavily enriched breads, your enriched rices,
anything that's in the center of the grocery store.
Correct. Absolutely, positively correct. Your very, very, very starchy vegetables. Most fruits. I'm not saying stay away from fruit because fruit is good for you. It's good. It actually gives you a lot of the water that you need, including nutrients. But if you're eating all fruit all the time that's not in season, and if you're eating a whole bag of grapes a day, you got a problem. So this is kind of the pattern that we're in, and it really, really sucks. And what's even worse is that carbohydrates have this effect to it. You ever heard the old myth that McDonald's fries have a chemical that make you want more McDonald's fries?
Yeah, it's called salt, and it's called the bone marrow that's in.
It's called freaking carbs.
Yeah,
that's what it is. You know, you eat sugary sweets and crap, and you want more sugary sweets and crap. Here's the deal: carbohydrates do not satiate. Proteins and fats satiate. Meats and good fats, your avocado oils, your olive oils, your avocados, period. You know, that stuff satiates, and intermittent fasting helps. I'm not going to go into that. So yeah, so one major problem we have in this country, type 2 diabetes, they're trying to treat it with metformin or whatever other drugs that are going to lower your blood sugar. Yeah, you're helping the symptoms, but the best thing to do, seriously, is to do what I've heard lately. It's called a natural sugar dump. You want to do a natural sugar dump, which would be you can exercise, you can lift weights, you can do heavy cardio, you can fast for between 16 and 20 hours in a day. You can do a 24-hour fast twice a week. Whatever it takes to get your body to process the crap that it's taken in, that's a big help. And it's also a great start if you need to wean yourself off some stuff. Cutting anything cold turkey, I don't care what it is. You quit drinking, you quit smoking, you quit eating sugar, you quit eating fast food. You do all that stuff cold turkey, you're going to mess yourself up here, and it's not good for you. You don't need that kind of shock. You don't need that kind of stress in your life. It freaking sucks. You worry yourself and you worry the people who love you. So wean yourself off of whatever it is you need to wean off of. Because eventually what's going to happen is that when you start combining things like a little bit of exercise and a little bit less crappy food and a lot more water, you're going to find that all the stuff that's hurting you is going to start wearing off, and all that inflammation, it's going to start fading away, and all those tubes and organs are going to start opening up again, and things are going to get better. Just remember, you can't fix 20, 30 years worth of bad eating and bad habits in a few months. You can greatly improve your situation, but you can't fix it. The problem you've got is that damage takes time to control and eventually fix. I am 2 years into intermittent fasting, and I'm only just right now seeing my face again, what I really look like. I don't look that bad.
You're so handsome.
I'm trying to be handsome.
Bucky
but
says,
yeah, so that's my thing about pharmaceuticals and food. That's kind of my input on it.
Bucky says, we eat so much junk food in this country and it's ridiculous. I'm guilty of this too. You can definitely tell the difference between when you eat well and when you don't.
That's nothing but truth. Completely true statement.
Who is this young man?
Yeah. and on Force's point, we, like, my wife and I, we cut out fast food from our lives a long time ago. And if she gets that craving for Irish nachos or really greasy pizza, it destroys our stomachs because we're not used to it anymore. So that's how you can tell it's working, that you're kind of weaned yourself off, is when you go back to it, it hurts.
Yeah.
Or just tastes bad.
How did I eat this before?
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I used to drink Mountain Dew all the time as a kid. I don't drink pop. I can't drink pop anymore. Mountain Dew tastes disgusting.
You are from the Northwest. You say pop.
Yes. I But yeah, it's just doing it. And Ford is absolutely right. It's there is a habit breaking thing that you have to do. Weaning yourself off is the best way to do. You go cold turkey, it hurts. I've done cold turkey stuff. I've done the keto diet for a month. I've done the 30 whatever a month where I made my own dressing. I made everything from scratch, and it sucks at first. It takes about 2 weeks for that nausea to stop, and then once you get past that point, it does get easier.
That comment right there says it all as far as what I was going to bring up.
Yes, our culture encourages poor eating habits. It helps feed the healthcare and profit, making never-ending money. This is something that we have talked about over on Hearts of Kyber a couple of times. And actually, I apologize for jumping in late. So I don't know how much of this you may have covered. But another thing that I want to tell people is, don't beat yourself up so much. And remember that the chips are stacked against you on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
There is money in people's pockets to be made. And this is why we were talking about, is there a link between the pharmaceutical companies and the food companies? And I say there's got to be. I mean, the FDA, like, for instance, we have, you were talking about Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew contains a chemical in it that is banned in most other countries in the world called yellow number 5.
Right.
Yellow number 5 is a dye. And I think it has to do with inflammation. But yellow number 5 is a dye that's used. Skittles. Skittles is another food that is on the list to possibly be banned in the United States. Because it contains yellow number 5. And I think there's a red one too.
The red dye. Yeah, the red dye.
Isn't it like red number 9 or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure which number it is, but I know for a fact yellow number 5 is one of the key ones. And I gotta wonder, the fuck is the FDA for? Like, are they here for us or are they here for the chemical companies? You know what I mean? Like, seriously,
is there anything federal that's here for the rest of us? There? I would really like to know. It's not the Bureau of Investigation. It's not the IRS.
Well, I
mean, I almost feel like the FDA's job is just to figure out how much the companies can get away before you die. That's about it.
Yes, that's how it started. It was to stop putting chemicals into our food. Poison, actually known poison, but now we know it's poison now, but we still don't stop it because it's not in the list.
Well, it's long-term poison, right? It won't kill you now, but it will make you sick enough to rely on medication at some point that the pharmaceutical companies are going to provide you because, switching your diet around, well, this was too hard.
Yeah.
Matt says get a burger for $1, but it's $5 for a salad and fruit.
Exactly. That too.
Well, the problem is even with the salads at McDonald's, they're still they're still full of sugar. There's more sugar in the salad than there's the burger. The burger is for nutrient wise is a healthier choice over than that crap salad you get at McDonald's.
Correct.
What's up, Janina? Janina says red 40. That's apparently
that's what it is. Red 40.
Yeah. So I mean, even these healthier options are still garbage because we still put on so much salad dressing that's so full of sugar onto our salads. You just need just a low fat vinaigrette. We cover it, and we do the same thing. Like if you look at people compare, like you go to Italy and they eat lots of pasta and they're thinner than us. Well, we have soup with noodles in it. That the soup being the pasta sauce,
right?
Instead of the light coating, and we just put more process into it. But they are also making their noodles fresh.
Well, yeah, that I was about to say. In Italy, they make all their stuff fresh with real ingredients, and that's just it. If you go to Europe, you cannot find half the shit we have available in America there because it's full of poisons.
Correct.
If you go out over there, like they are making things with real ingredients. And even in Italy, they can eat all the carbs they want because they fucking walk everywhere. Like it's the way that they engage in their daily lives is different from how Americans are. They're not as sedentary. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, where like you sit around all day or you're sitting in an office. They're a bit more active and engaged. They go out, they do things. I can't wait to go to Italy. I've been learning Italian the last couple of months because I'm like prepping for my trip in a couple of years. That's another tool that I'm using to kind of like curb the alcoholism is to, focus on something else. And foreign language is one of those. Forrest mentioned earlier about like you can't stop cold turkey on this and that. And to some extent, I totally can agree with that. Like leading up to this, I knew I was going to get to a point where I wanted to stop drinking and stop smoking. And I kind of started to wean myself slightly. Like I wouldn't buy as much stuff, but I would still buy something. And I would still drink it all. And I would still, smoke here and there. And it started to get a little worse near the end of the year. But like that's why once I made that decision and decided, okay, I have to prove this to myself. It's not that I'm going to give up drinking forever. It's not that I'm never going to smoke again. It's that I'm going to make the effort to put in for this first month to take a break and prove to myself that I can do it. And just in 6 days, I already see a lot of difference. I'm not as puffy. I don't feel as sore. My sleep cycle sucks, but my sleep cycle has always sucked. But I do think that there is a huge relation between the foods that we choose to eat, the foods that are available to us, and then how that ties into the pharmaceutical company really trying to pump us full of meds. Like even with antibiotics, like the trouble with antibiotics is that they overprescribe that stuff to some extreme level. And they're like, you have to take them all. And it's like, even when they do that and they say that to me, as soon as I'm better, I stop taking those antibiotics because I already know it's not good to stay on them. Because at some point you're not going to be able to process them, or you're not going to be able to get the benefits from them. So it is kind of stacked against us in that sense.
If I may, a little bit too, Anthony, not to take anything away from what you were saying, but
go ahead.
Even food is a little bit different than alcohol and tobacco, right? Because I'm not saying that they're, one is more addictive or anything like that, but in society, if somebody's a raging alcoholic, people will call them out on it. You know what I mean? If somebody's smoking around babies, somebody's going to call them out on it. But if you're eating a piece of cheesecake when you don't need to be, nobody's going to come over to your table and say, Anthony, you shouldn't be having that cheesecake. Do you know what it's doing to your arteries right now?
Oh, that's because that'd be fat shaming, right? Like that's
right,
against
exactly.
the Health at Every Size movement. They throw.
Well, that's what the internet is for.
But
I mean, you've got all that you got all that stuff online. That's where most of the cyberbullying and all that bullshit comes from, because nobody has the gall to come over to you in person and say, "Hey, man, you know what? You're a heavy guy, and you shouldn't be eating that." No, that's asking for a fist to the face.
Well, it's also to some extent rude. It is a to each their own thing. Like people can't fix themselves until they are the ones that recognize they have a problem. So you could be the person to point it out to them, but that's not going to change their attitude or their mindset. They have
not even.
But you also have to understand that we live in a country and a society that since day one, if you grew up in this country, you have never lived a day in your life without sugar. Even the children's formula food, Gerber's, which you would assume is supposed to be healthy and good for a child, that shit's half sugar. You know what I mean? So we have been bred and conditioned by these companies who control the power, who control the media, who control the narrative. In fact, the food companies have, not specific, but certain companies have come out and said that they play the same exact game that tobacco companies do, right? So what you do is, fat is bad for you, right? And we sell fatty products. Well, I go and find myself a scientist or two who may be able to come up with just enough facts that it gets you to feel better about eating that extra patty on your hamburger. It doesn't have to all be true, but just enough to plant a little bit of seed of doubt in your mind. And that's why, like, if you think about things, like I've often thought about, do you ever stop and think about why the fuck is there so much cheese in everything? Like, sugar.
Yeah, Americans are really obsessed with cheese.
Yeah.
That's another comment from Europe that are like, why do you put cheese in everything?
Why is bacon on everything?
Because bacon's delicious.
Because bacon's flavor.
Because both of these companies back in some part of our history lobbied in Congress to get their products promoted more heavily. I don't know if you remember when Oprah, there was a time when Oprah had this whole thing and she said, I'm never eating meat again. It was the whole chicken nugget thing when they were talking about, what these processing plants look like. And the meat industry tried to sue Oprah. Like the whole friggin' industry got together and got themselves lawyers and tried to sue Oprah, saying it was like defamation.
Good luck with that. Oprah's
but the point of the matter is that these companies like sugar is subsidized by the United States government. Our food, we used to, when I was growing up, we used to have what we called the food pyramid, right? Now it's like a plate. They call it the food circle or whatever.
Well, Michelle Obama was the one that redesigned it as the food plate. Like this,
right?
The pyramid's completely wrong.
Yeah,
it's completely wrong. But you have to understand that was developed at a time during war when we had lower rations. There was lower meat supply, and so this food chart was not based on what's nutritionally good for you, but what's good for you in terms of what's available and ready at hand. So,
and
like,
carbs were plentiful. Grains was a staple. Eat your bread and your oatmeal because that's filling. That'll sustain you because there ain't no meat for you. But have a piece
and
of
it's
bacon.
not. That's the thing. It's not. It never has been. It freaking sucks. Now, like what Anthony was saying, wholesome ingredients, keep the enrichment out of it, keep the filtering and all that shit out of it, then yeah, it might satiate you. Do it the Italian way? Yeah, it might satiate you. But at the same time, if you're already freaking diabetic or you've already got a laundry list of problem number 493, you don't need to be consuming it. It's literally just that simple. And the problem is that, yes, Van, we've got everything in our faces every single day. You cannot drive more than 2 miles without seeing a billboard of come eat this or feel better about that. I mean, you're here in Florida, you're gonna run into one of 3 signs. Ex lawyer got me $500K, so sue away. Number 2, come eat this. Or number 3, this medication fixed this problem.
No, watch out for gators.
Okay. So on that note, I saw this really fascinating cartoon clip on TikTok. I don't know who made it, sadly, but it was literally a bunch of like rats, and it was a peril, whatever. It was basically trying to like show what human society is like now, with this rat race of all these rats just kind of going through the motions. And this one rat, you follow him on his journey, and everything he comes across is like an advertisement for happiness. Mm-hmm. And it literally it says happiness, but it's like pills, it's food, it's sex, it's this. And he keeps falling into these traps of this is going to be the thing that makes me happy. And then, of course, it goes and spirals completely out of control and back into the rat race. It was remarkable to see someone expertly point out this is exactly what we're going through right now, and like it's got to stop.
Did you ever see the movie They?
Oh God, it sounds so familiar. Please remind me.
Rowdy Piper was in this movie. He was starring in the movie.
They live. They live.
They live.
They live.
Is it they live? Okay, yeah. So it was
when the one with the glasses.
Yes.
Right. When he put on the glasses, movie. He'd see the signs that say obey and consume and eat more.
Yep, that is exactly it. Mind you, we're having this whole discussion and we're ranting on it while I sip on my Dutch Brothers and eating movie theater popcorn because that's what my husband decided he needed to have at 8:00 tonight.
You contradicting bitch.
I am. Forgive me. I'm a fucking hypocrite. I stopped smoking and drinking. Shut up.
Well, so I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie Thank You for Smoking with
Heard of it. I've not watched
it. With Aaron Eckhart. He is a smoking lobbyist. And essentially they go through how the lobbyist goes through it. And at the end of the movie, they have other lobbyists show up, and it's the welcome to the new brethren of lobbying. It's fast food, it's sugar companies now part of the lobbyists that joined alcohol, tobacco in the lobby.
We have more lobby organizations in DC than we have congressmen and senators in DC. Well, that's got to tell you something.
They got to get paid, right? Their couple $100,000 salary is not enough. They need to get that $10,000 bribe.
Right, but I mean, this is affecting your life and my life. Between the gas industries, the corporations, all of the food, the hospitals. Hospitals alone have who knows how many different lobbyists they have.
Well, and hospitals overcharge you for jack shit and everything. So that's why if you ever get treated at a hospital, you ask for an itemized bill, because I can guarantee you they're going to charge you like $800 for a fucking Band-Aid.
Right.
And he says, out on them, like, no, I will buy you a box. Here, refund me $3,000. Like,
John says our grandparents didn't have the today's diseases because they had more natural and less processed, strange chemical food stuff. Yeah, I'm also thinking about how
mumps and polio. So, like, let's take it. Life expectancy is still increased. We just still have the number one causes of death in America, like heart disease and and obesity. And yeah, those things are directly a result of shitty food being plentifully available for a lot cheaper than healthier food. I feel like if people really want to turn their lives around, if America really wants to like make a change, we need to get back into the idea of having our own sustainable gardens. I would love to see more projects put forth for like a neighborhood garden kind of thing.
Yes.
But see, that
Get
doesn't
together and do something like that. But that requires people to also have time to do those things, and everyone's working 2 jobs just to afford their fucking rent. So like, no matter what, there's like 50 other problems before we can address the other problem, because those things play factors into it. Cost of living, hands down, is the number one factor to all of it.
Well,
Right.
and because we as Americans generally work more than other countries, so we have less time to make these healthy meals. And that's unfortunately the cause
But
of it.
have you ever stopped to think that all these problems were probably manufactured in order to get you to buy and consume the way you want to? Think about it this way. When we had, for example, in the 70s, when corporations were paying up to 60, 70% tax rate, now they're paying sometimes in the 20 or 30 or even less for multi-billion-dollar companies.
Thank you, Ronald Reagan.
Yes, thank you, Ronald Reagan. You were able to have one person, and typically it was a mother. We lived in a different time period. In today's standards, it could be a man that stays at home, but you typically had one parent that stayed home and could cook healthier meals, could look after the family and the children. But now the cost of living has gone so high that both adults have to be out of the house, and that causes so many other things. Now you have kids that aren't cooking for themselves. So what are they going to do? They're going to throw in a Hot Pocket, or they're going to throw in, something easy to eat in the microwave until mom and dad gets home at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. You're also destroying the fabric of the family, which also leads to jails and institutions making more money. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you
the nuclear family,
if you really think about it, the reason the big drive for what part of the drive why we got all these boxed and manufactured things is the quick mixes. Hey, all you have to do is add egg, is because both parents, even in the 50s and 60s, the women were getting into the workforce so they could work and still have a meal prepared in time for their family, so it's easier to make, so they didn't have to spend all day making the dinner. So we got those instant meals. There's add an egg, and the reason why you add an egg is so it seems homemade, so they could do the egg in there.
It's wholesome-ish.
Right.
Are eggs good for you still? I can't ever figure this out.
It's protein. It's protein, but they
were good for you. They were bad for you. Now they're good for you again. They might be bad. I don't know.
All I know is it gives me terrible gastritis. So.
But
hi, Aubrey.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Aubrey.
I'm here finally. Sorry,
but
my mom had a thing she needed help with, so that's why I'm late. But
Anthony, that's part of the plan, though. Is the idea is to keep you confused. The more you're confused about it, then you just give up. Oh, I'm tired. Is it cheese is bad for you today, or is it eggs that are bad for you today? Is it fat is good for you, fat is bad for you? And then
fat can be good or bad for you. It's not that. I mean, it has to do with are there good fats and there are bad fats? So which one are you going through? I mean,
the point of the matter,
some of that's marketing and some of that's actually.
Well, I just found out recently that apparently it's not good to cook with olive oil, and that's remarkable.
No, it isn't.
You're not supposed to heat it.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to heat. It's avocado oil that you're supposed to heat. That's the only oil, and coconut oil. Coconut oil and avocado oil is the only safe oil to heat.
Yes.
Period.
I've known that I've actually known that 10 years.
Well, thank you for sharing now.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying,
well, no,
Anthony, if we hung out, I'd give you all of the tips, honey. We're gonna hang out.
That goes exactly to the point that we're trying to make about the fact that they purposefully keep, because I think I remember hearing the same thing, that olive oil was the good oil, right?
Yeah.
So
it is. But it's like the third best one to cook with, but what they were saying before, it's the heating point. So you can use it for certain things, but you can't use it to like cook with. And my mom recently had a whole thing where she went to the doctors and was diagnosed as like being pre-diabetic. which she was just like, oh my God, she's been trying to work on her diet. She's like, I get the Hello Fresh, and her doctor's like, yeah, but each one of those boxes that comes with, they have like a recipe that calls for cream cheese, sour cream, something like that for the sauce. Like that's what you need to cut out. And then she's like, well, I switched to sweet potato fries. She's like, yeah, Lori, what's the first word in that phrase? Sweet. There's sugar in the sweet potatoes. You can't have those. So like she's having to have this whole adjustment of her diet. I fortunately, like last year when I was doing my pageant, kind of cut out the fast food, cut out the sodas as much because I was really trying to slim down, get snatched. And as a result of that, like I started to lose that tolerance to want those things. Like if I have to be in like a mood for a soda, and even then, like I have a little bit of it. I can't do like a full like giant super gulp like I used to. I much would prefer to have just like unsweetened iced tea. As far as like fast food, cut most of that out. I really don't crave it, but like occasionally, like if I need something and I don't have time, like I'll go get a bean burrito from Taco Bell and say fuck it, like that. At least that's somewhat sustainable. But like I don't crave the fried foods as much because like Graveyard said, as soon as I eat it, I feel like shit.
Yep.
And I hate that feeling. Like I cannot believe that the 17-year-old me every single day for lunch would go to Carl's Jr. and get a double bacon Western cheeseburger, large it with a fucking soda and down that whole thing and just be like, all right, let's go on with my day. Like it's remarkable. I can never figure going back to that. Like, and even with going to the doctor for my elbow, like one of the first questions he asked me is if I had been diagnosed with diabetes. And I was just like, not that I'm aware of. Should I be
Bucky?
concerned?
I love your name, by the way. Sorry, Anthony. I don't mean to cut you off.
Nice seeing you, Bucky.
Night, Bucky.
Thank you so much. We love you guys. All right. Yeah. And thank you, Mez, for introducing Bucky.
Bye, Bucky.
Bye, Bucky.
Bye, Bucky.
Yeah, I feel like especially in this country, the cards are stacked against us. If you look at Okinawa, Japan, Okinawa used to have the record for people in general that had the longest lifespans on the planet. But what they found in the last 20 years, the Okinawan lifespan has decreased to exactly the same as Americans. And you know why? Because they got fast food.
I think I said this in an earlier, I even said this in an earlier stream actually about food, about the Japanese and about how, with all of that with the milk. Sorry, what? I'm sorry. I'm trying to wait, I'm not trying to cut you off, Anthony.
No, I was like, why am I on the screen? She's talking.
I'm trying to move the damn camera around. Cut me some slack.
I miss my Levitts. I'm so happy my Levitts is here.
I'm glad to be back.
Oh my God.
All right, finish your idea there.
Queen, if you haven't already, it's awesome and hilarious, and I love it.
That is a lot of fun.
Sorry, my cat's photobomb me again. Say hi, Morgan.
Aubrey, finish your thought.
All right, sorry. So I was saying this before that they've shown even since the 80s. They've started doing the studies the last 20 years, but ever since the American lifestyle was more adopted in Japan, that they've shown a huge increase in obesity and in the unhealthy lifestyle, and it just causes a lot of issues. And there are things like such as food deserts and all that, and it's interesting. I mean, there is a correlation between the food that is eaten that are deeply fried in fatty oils, and vegetable oil is not good for you either. Nope. It should be used. It's great if you want to use it as a alternative to gasoline.
Oh,
that's so great. As in our bodies.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's what I was trying to say.
We had last Sunday, Van and I did pretty much a live gaming stream like the whole time, and we actually cut the game 2/3 of the way in, and we had a long hour, like an hour-long conversation, just the two of us on the screen. We were going over this stuff, and I made the point, in situations like this, it's time to be a little selfish. It's time to take a look at our own health. We can say all day that the cards are stacked against us, but I got news for you. Burn the fucking cards. Burn the fucking cards. That's what I'm telling you. Burn them. Don't let the cards be stacked on you. Burn them. Take your own life back. Yes, there are going to be difficult, hard, tough, habit-breaking days. There are habit-breaking days ahead. There truthfully are. This is not easy. None of this is easy. I'm still a big dude. None of this is easy. I put in 5.5 hours of working out this week over 3 days. And this is what it takes. And it sucks. What I've had to quit eating and drinking sucks. But yes, to Van's point, yeah, this stuff is all in our faces. It's all in our eyes. It's all in our ears. But it's time to get selfish. It's time to say no, and say no for yourself. Don't say no for your doctor. Don't say no for your spouse. Don't say no. You can't, you got to love yourself. And I'm working on that each and every day. You've got to make the conscious decision to find a good, responsible piece of health information that actually is for your benefit. And there's a freaking truckload of them all over YouTube. I can name tons of them. If Van later on, if you want to put them in not in the comment section, but the description of this stream.
We're gonna have to talk to Mets about that.
Yeah.
Well, Agent M will be on it, I'm sure.
You know, it does take some education, and it does take a shit ton of willpower, but it can be done. You can say no to all the stuff that's in your face. Like, you would come get these fries. No. Come get this burger. No. You know, go.
Quick little interesting trivia fact for you too. I can't remember the name of the gentleman right now. I studied this when I was a journalism major with the emphasis on advertising when I went to University of Oregon. There was a gentleman who is literally the cousin of Sigmund Freud. The cousin of Sigmund Freud is known as the grandfather of advertising. And what he did was he was the first guy, and I want to say it was like in the 40s or 50s, that started making a tie-in between advertising and emotions. So what it used to be is advertising used to be, well, you know, one steak, $1.50 per pound, right? And it would just show you the meat, and it would just show you the sale. But he was the first guy to put a sexy lady holding the steak, or, you know, a really buff guy at a grill cooking steaks. And he was the first one to make you emotionally tap in, so that a lot of advertising, you look at like advertising for perfumes nowadays, you know, Giorgio Armani or any of Eternity or whatever. If you were to turn the volume off, you would have no fucking idea what product they were selling on
it's
that.
just somebody jumping in and out of a pool half the time.
Right. People looking sexy and gorgeous. Everything's in black and white. Exactly. And then at the very last shot, they show you the bottle of cologne, and they show you the name of the cologne, because they know that whether you buy that cologne or not really makes no difference on whether it smells good or not. It's on whether you think it smells good, whether you think it's going to attract the beautiful women you want.
Look sexy like that.
That's right. And it has to do with it actually has to do with what your senses are putting into what you're seeing on the it's sense recall. It's like you're recalling, hey, if I wear this, I'll look sexy. It's a weird memory.
Well, isn't it just like a reward center of your brain?
Yeah, but that's not. It's like it's not quite like nostalgia. It's like the same place where there's nostalgia, but it's very similar to that. That's kind
of
a
memory connection. It's like certain smells.
Yeah, it's memory sense or memory. Yeah.
Janina makes a good point, and this is something that Aaron and I have talked about before. But Janina says no education support for lower income or disadvantaged populations. And here's my question: is why? What incentive do they have to teach us to eat healthy? Right? Corporations don't make money that way. Pardon me. If we all grew our own backyard gardens, corporations wouldn't make money that way. If we all started fasting instead of taking these pills, corporations don't make money that way. So you have to understand, you know, what's really behind all of these things. And again, all the cards are stacked against you. You are meant not to win this game.
Okay, so on that note, because I just played this game and what Fours was saying, it reminded me of a quote. Now, The character is, of course, one of the sleazier bad guys, but I've always loved this quote that Lazard Valeth does, which is, I would rather forge my own path in life and call it destiny once the cards have settled. I fucking love that whole mentality. I do not care what the stacks are, what the odds are. I'm going to say, I'm going to try and do this. And then once I've actually accomplished it, it was meant to be, because all that hard work finally pays off. But it is one of those things, it's a mental thing that you have to get past, that you have to know it's going to be a long time thing. We are in such a generation of automatic reward and automatic gratification. Like, if you don't have it within the next 5 minutes, well, I don't want it now. Like, it's interesting to see how they've really pushed it into this now, where like you can order any kind of food on an app. You could find someone to fuck on an app. You can go onto TikTok and scroll for literal hours for your 15-second attention deficit disorder, because you don't want to deal with reality and the fact that reality is really boring half the time, and you have to find ways of entertaining yourself. And then also that, we're stuck in a society where it's really hard to fulfill what you want to do with your life and find it, because you're too busy working. You're too busy being part of the machine. They don't want you educated. They don't want you well, because they want you to just work those shitty jobs that they want people to fill, so that the people who are in the upper echelons can continue to have record-breaking profits, even though they don't need them.
And I was just in the mall a couple of hours ago. My son was going to a party at Dave & Buster's and stuff like that, and I stopped in at one of our distributors who sells Kyber Cave sabers, and I was, just to see how he's doing and stuff. And he was saying that he had made only one sale this entire day. We're right after the holidays, so when you work in retail, especially, that there's going to be that time period where you're not making much money. But the bigger thing was, what it got me to thinking about was, when I was growing up, the mall was the fucking place to be. You know what I mean? Like, you would see all your friends there. Everyone would be just walking around in circles. Exactly. But now
people had more money in the 90s.
People also have Amazon. Like,
there's also Amazon.
Why should I try to mall? I can just give Jeff Bezos my money. Just add to cart. There you go.
Well, they had more money. They had more disposable time. Yeah. They had they didn't have the internet. So there wasn't, you weren't Skyping your friends or, giving text messaging your friends. You had to meet up with your friends somewhere.
To be fair, I do love that we have this. To be fair, I probably wouldn't know.
There are good things to the internet and connectivity, yes, but I agree that it's gotten to an absurd point where people just don't live in reality.
I have a question for the chat, though. Janina, yes. I don't know what you mean by the so not true, and they don't. I could you clarify what you mean by that? Because I wanted to respond, but I didn't know. I need clarification, honey. That's all. Sorry. So I just wanted to acknowledge you and also be like, could you clarify, please? Anyways, keep going. Sorry.
And even like the metformin. What's interesting, you were talking about metformin earlier, and my mom took metformin for she had I think it's called neuropathy, where like you have sharp tingling feelings in your fingers or your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Is that what it's called? You're right. So I guess the metformin was supposed to act as kind of like it doesn't stop the pain, but it makes it so you can't notice the pain. It's a pain dampener, right? So it didn't do anything for the actual problem itself, just like Forrest was saying. It was meant to kind of make you alleviate it, so it's not think about it, so you can go on with your life.
It's a symptom.
It's treating symptoms, and that's what a lot of the pharmaceuticals are paid to do. They're treating symptoms. Yes. They're not curing
problem. Anything.
Yeah, because if they cure you, why do you need to go back?
They're giving you the Band-Aid instead of pulling the wire and doing it the right way.
And what's nuts is that is that the human body has almost all the power it needs to self-cure. Not everything. That's not a blanket statement. We have the power within ourselves to self-cure if we just take crap out of the way.
Well, and on that note, Eli had actually sent me a video to kind of encourage me for this whole dry January thing. And it was a whole like 30-minute video talking about the effects of alcohol after you stop drinking, and how like during the progression of this is what you're going to see at like basically at like 2 weeks, like my liver's going to start healing itself and replenishing all that damage that I've done. I'm going to start noticing this happening. And again, I've already kind of seen some of it where like just the general puffiness of me is gone. My overall fatigue and soreness has kind of started to dissipate a bit. And it is getting me back onto a thing where like the chemicals aren't affecting me as bad. Again, alcohol is such a depressant. And it really is something that exacerbates any degree of depression that you have. Like I know that I started drinking after my stepfather had passed away, and it was one of those things that just kind of progressively stuck with me as a result of that depression, and then my codependency on this thing to try to numb it, and not knowing that it was actually making it far, far, far worse.
Well, what it does is it gives you so basically what that happens when you drink, it is providing serotonin. So it's overloading your serotonin nerve. So when you drink it, if you want to be happy, you generally will be happy most because of, but afterwards it's the downer that happens because then your serotonin doesn't come back.
Well, and then your brain tricks you to just drink more, and then you'll get back to that. But then you don't. You've already depleted it.
Right. Bucky is back and loving the conversation, guys.
Yay, Bucky.
Yay.
Oh, wait. What did you say?
I just wasn't sure what you were referring to when you said so, because I know you're like talking about no education or support for fewer income or disadvantaged population. And then Van was talking, and then you said so not true. So I was just confused about what that was in relation to what Van was saying at the time. That was all.
Alcohol is the worst when it comes to depression. It truly makes me feel worse. It was hard for me to quit after 8 years in the Army, but I was able to slowly quit. Feels so much better.
Good for you. Congrats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely congratulations.
I mean, with the medication I'm on and the depression I have, if I get drunk and hungover, because it's like the sugars are so drained in your system, it causes depression and just feels worse. So it almost creates a panic attack in me as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there was something else too, how it's linked to anxiety.
Yes.
That was one of the first side effects of stopping drinking is that you're going to notice some increased anxiety moments and things like this while you're readjusting.
Well, anything that you quit sugar, you quit fat, you quit alcohol, you quit dairy, your chemical balance is so bad. That's why you have to get past that 2 to 3 weeks where your body's craving it.
Yeah,
it's the same for when you're detoxing from food too, because food is super addictive, like cheese and butter and all that.
Detoxing from any kind of
sugar,
narcotic or drug.
And sugar is one of the worst. And okay, all right, Gina. All right, I was just curious. I was just confused.
Just trying to keep everybody involved.
We love you.
We love you. We're glad you're back in the chat. We missed you, or at least I've missed you. So I'm glad you're here. Anyways.
Thank you. Aubrey speaks for us all. I think that there's so much that I just worry that in this country, we place corporate values over, what is better for the average person, and where does this all lead to? If you don't have a healthy country.
Right. The rich need to be taxed, because at this point, if Jeff Bezos never made another single goddamn solitary penny, he would still be richer than anybody else for the rest of his life. There is no good goddamn reason that you can give me that we shouldn't have a maximum wage.
I just heard, what was it?
You're not allowed to make the medium income of an average American in 3 hours or 5 minutes. Depending on which one of these CEOs that you are. It's ridiculous.
I just heard Elon Musk was the first person in history to lose $200 billion.
Good.
And he's still doing pretty okay.
Twitter's fucking
But he's still gonna be fine. He's not really
he's not hurting
much.
It's not like he's gonna be found in the street like bombs for the poor. Like, no. All of these assholes need to watch A Christmas Story and know that they are making that chain longer than Jacob Marley. That's the one thing I love about Christmas. I watch like 5 different versions of the Christmas Carol.
I love it.
Story.
Including the Muppet version.
The Muppet version is the best.
The Muppet version is the best one.
I don't know. Did you see Spirited?
My queen.
I did.
Well, good afternoon.
You're talking about the new one on Netflix, right? That one?
Yeah.
That was a little bit of like a pop star fever dream. I don't know why they made Scrooge so like snackable. Like that is not a man who looks like he's on his way out. That's like, I just hit my stride. I'm Anderson Cooper. Like it's not the Scrooge that I anticipate in the slightest. And then they gave us a really gay Father Christmas, which I guess is progressive, but
I don't know. I mean,
it was very odd.
He's always kind of gay. I mean, he's happy. So
I mean, Christmas is kind of gay. It's all about like, look at this big old tree. Let's dress it up and make it all sparkly. Put a big old star on the top. Yeah.
I like my sparkly
you want to
tree.
give me something? Well, wrap it in this really pretty package and then put a big old bow on it. There you are. Like, Christmas is gay as fuck.
Drag a corpse into your house. Decorate.
Yeah,
not gonna lie. I mean, it's supposed to be gay and merry and all those things you want to talk about.
May the spirit
language.
Be gay and bright. A lot.
I love it.
Thank you, Bucky. We appreciate you.
On that note,
no, don't worry about clogging the chat. You're wonderful. Please.
Chat it up.
Bucky says tax the rich and ends. Seriously, is it so bad to give more when you have it to give? It helps others. I despise it.
Again, like Van said earlier, if you go back like 50 years when we were taxing corporations and really the greatest time in American prosperity, like the 50s to the 70s, that's what was happening. They were paying 70%, if not more. And that's why we had the prosperity we did.
And that's why we had
many Californians went to college for free.
Give the consumers the expendable income to spend on consuming random shit. If everything that we earn goes strictly into our mortgage, into our bills, into our transportation, and into our food, how the hell am I going to spend it on anything else?
Well, we're
going to buy a new phone every 6 months, but I don't have $1,200 to my name. Like, it's special. The system's going to collapse in on itself as a result of that. That's why we've had 2 recessions just in the last, couple of decades. It's kind of sad. They're always like, oh, it's a once in a lifetime thing. Really? It's 3 for me, motherfucker.
I was going to say, if you look at it, I mean, I'm 49 years old, and I think this is like the 4th or 5th one I've been through. I mean, we're going all the way back to the 70s with the gas crisis that they had the 70s. But it seems to me that roughly every 10 to 12 years, we have a national major meltdown. And you want to know what's funny? The only people that are affected are the middle class.
Yep.
No class in the poor.
To not the recession that we're going through, but the recession before that, we had our housing crisis, right? And that wiped out a lot of the middle class houses. A lot of people that were trying to buy the extra house and, flip it or, rent it out to other people. This last time with COVID, we wiped out all our small businesses. There's so many small businesses that went under. That's also the middle class. So it's like we keep chipping away at the middle class and making the middle class poorer and poorer, while the richer class is just
they're just whittling away.
Well, now they're hiking all the rents again, and they're upping up all of the housing markets again, and all that. I mean, it's gonna. They
have to somehow regulate that shit. And be like, sorry, you cannot charge $2,500 a month for a studio apartment. It does not work that way. They don't make that much fucking money on a minimum wage income, which is like 90% of the fucking jobs out there.
But
then they're like surprise Pikachu face when all of these apartments are basically empty. They're like,
yeah,
what do you mean all these? No one can afford housing.
What?
Right.
Or they get somebody in there who then just doesn't fucking pay rent and squats and fucks up the place. Go figure.
Lazy.
Well, you have to look at the basic bottom underlying foundations of capitalism, and as much as people want to argue back and forth, whatever. I have worked at a retail mall. And one thing that I know about working at a retail mall is that as a shift manager, every day I had to fill out this fucking sheet at the end of the shift, right? You had to know your year to date. How much did we make today? How much did we make per hour?
Yes.
What
No,
was
I
that compared to what we made on this date last year, right? So every year they're looking for you to have made more money on this date this year than you did last year.
Yeah, but it's
But
not.
how can you keep
sustainable?
right? How are you going to do that? Once you've cut every sale you can, once you cut every employee you can, there's going to come a point where you're not going to be able to beat the past.
Oh, well,
but our country isn't set up that way. We're only set up to continually keep winning.
Well, and that's just it. Even during the COVID crisis and everything else, these big ass companies made record-breaking profits. They keep on, we have to raise our prices because, you know, the supply chain demand from COVID. Oh, gas prices are so high. And yet they still have record profits. They are literally gouging us because, well, no, we still need to make a bigger quota than last time. We're already really, 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 really wealthy, but that's not enough. So let's just keep on and saying we need more. We need it. Sorry, you have. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd say there's a reason why FDR was like, we're gonna
afford dinner for under $50 today.
I went and bought food. I went and bought food. I had a $50 gift card and I bought food, and I still paid $87.
Yeah, no. I think back like 20 years ago, $100 worth of groceries to get you a full cart. Now it's like 3 bags.
Right. James has a comment here: raising prices to pay for CEO $1 million bonuses.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you remember, but during the housing crisis that happened in 2008,
I remember this.
I remember this.
So, do you remember when they paid out the banks? Right, they paid out Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and then just 1 month after, they were having $1 million bonuses for the lead like people at Bank of America, and then people were getting pissed. That was the same time where like there was the government meetings about banks overreach, and like people were getting pissed because they were flying private jets to this meeting and shit. And
which is
like people
were just $850 million check that just went. You don't know.
Right, so people were getting bonuses while the rest of the country was suffering, and we were.
And they got them after fucking up royally and tanking everything.
Right, so they got a bonus for fucking
Obama
that shit
had to go and do it again.
No, I know, and that's one of those things. I love you, Obama, but why did you fucking play into that too? Oh God.
I mean, at least he did give them accountability, like they did, like the people he did loan out to. He's like, okay, you have to pay that back. At least there was that. It wasn't like, here's a blank check. Why?
Right. What do you mean we can't use the money the way we want to use it?
But
what do
I
you mean there's going to be rules and regulations?
I need a new.
Honestly,
island
again, this is why FDR was like, yeah, we're gonna make those profits. You're gonna tax those profits of the 1%. I think there was something to that.
Right. Yeah, I think it's really funny, and I don't want to go. I don't want to go left or right or whatever. But you know, when we had the MAGA crowd, the Make America Great Again, what I think is funny is that the America that they were looking for was when Americans used to be taxed much higher.
Yeah. And yet the people that are in charge of that are saying, oh, well, we can't tax the rich because that's somehow going to affect you.
Right.
Oh, God, people are stupid. There's a lot of stupid fucking people.
That was also the time, back in the 70s, that was also the time that corporations could become people.
Yep. Yeah.
And therefore, the people that were... Right. The people that were running those corporations could no longer be in trouble because that's its own entity.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think it's time for a segue.
Who's got a song and dance?
All righty. Heavy topic that way. All right. Cool.
And we go from shitty economy to dream jobs. That almost seems like an oxymoron, dream and job.
We just talked about the death of the American dream. So what was your dream?
Yeah, that you're not achieving.
So
actually,
Aubrey, you're like singing and producing music and doing awesome shit.
I'm like, actually, I'm living my dream job. I get to do this with you guys. I get to dress up as favorite characters, and I get to act, and I get to play new characters that are going to become icons one day, I swear. And I get to sing, I get to perform for people, and that makes me very happy. And I get to write my own music and do stuff. So,
Do these things
and I get to write.
Or are these hobbies? That's the question.
James says
No,
bring
I
back
do get paid for
FDR.
those things.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah, and Henry Wallace. We need Henry Wallace.
Bring him back from the dead.
Bring him back. Zombie
Well, we did have
FDR.
Bernie Sanders, yeah. I mean, you think Bernie Sanders was radical? Whew, Henry Wallace, man, you got to read about that guy. He's amazing. Anyway, my dream job is I do have my dream job. I'd like to do more of my dream job, but I am doing my dream job.
I think interestingly, this is kind of interesting how it almost kind of segues into what we were just talking about. Though when we went through this pandemic, I think it woke a lot of people up when it comes to work. Mm-hmm. That was why we were having so many waiters that weren't going back to their jobs, because I think they realized, like, what the fuck have I been doing for the last 20 years of my life? A lot of people weren't going back to the corporate jobs when they had to stop their telecommuting. They now had to go back to the office. And a lot of people are like, you know what? I think I'm going to take a new direction in life. Do you think we're ready, or do you think we are in a time of a new social consciousness, or do you think it's just a few people that have kind of broken from the matrix?
No, I think that we are entering a new cycle. Again, I watched this video that was really brilliantly breaking down how we repeat a similar cycle every 80 years.
Yes.
What we're entering into right now is the age of the awakening, which is then going to go into an age of struggle, and then it's going to go into an age of prosperity again. So I think most of us were kind of born near the tail end of that age of prosperity.
Right.
So we got to kind of see it all go up, but now we're starting to see all of this collapse. We're seeing the breakdown of things again, and that's why we're entering back into the awakening. My concern is that a lot of this new generation is just wrapped up in some of the stupidest, mind-boggling things that I look at and go, this cannot be the biggest issue in your fucking life. Like, again, identity politics to me, when I hear people say cis het, cis white, this and that, I'm like, you are focusing on all of the wrong things. I thought we learned this lesson fucking 50 years ago. Stop judging people on what they look like and let people live how they want to. Stop being a judgmental bitch and complaining about everything. Like, if you don't have a solution to the problem, shut the fuck up. Right. If somebody else's happiness is a problem for you, that sounds like a you problem. Let me say this real quick. It's Henry Wallace. He was FDR's first vice president.
No, he's talking about the movie Braveheart. It's William Wallace.
No, he's saying Chris Wallace. Is that Mel Gibson's character from Braveheart? I'm saying no. I'm taking it as no. It was Henry Wallace. You got to look Henry Wallace. He's
yeah. So
sorry. All right, keep going. I'm sorry, Anthony. Keep going.
I do think there is something to be said about people waking up and saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna do the extra mile or bust my ass to do this job that's paying me the bare minimum, because you're not ever going to reward me." That was the lie that my generation was told. I was told, if you work hard, you will get more. You will then be able to work your way up this ladder. And I've done that. I've had that professionalism. I've always shown up to my job. I've always been promoted, but I never get paid significantly more than my peers who literally just stand around and do jack shit. And then they never seem to ever be held accountable for the fact that they don't do anything. I recently had this where I was out for a couple of days because my arm came back all through the month of December, mind you. I noticed, like, hey, no one is helping me put away the inventory. We had made the rule that if the delivery comes in on your shift, you need to unpack it and put it away. And every single time, oh, I didn't know anything got delivered. Oh, I never went back there. I didn't see anything. And I'm like, okay, but how is that possible? If you weren't busy, what did you do with your time? If you were busy, how did you not go back there and see that we had a lot of shit? I mean, we're talking like a mountain of cases of wine and alcohol and things just in the way. And
so the same
went back yesterday to my job, and I saw that it happened again. And I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done. This is a new year. I'm putting my foot down. I messaged my boss. I messaged my owner. I said, this is absolutely uncalled for. I'm done with this now. I'm no longer doing this rule of, oh, when it comes in on your day, because I'm always given the same excuse and it's always left up to me. We are now going to put my rule forth that every single person, no matter what their shift is, has to unpack 2 cases. They have to unpack 2 cases of wine. They have to unpack 2 cases of beer. They need to refill this fridge. They need to refill that fridge. They need to make sure that everything is actually getting put away. And I kind of got to, oh, well, you know, it's because somebody else was covering. They didn't know. I'm like, no. That's an excuse. Quit making excuses for the lazy bitches.
Right.
And so I said, I'm standing firm on this rule. And if they try to push back and say, well, no, we can't do that. It needs to be done this way. That's what I'm saying. Well, then guess what? Take back my position. Give it to somebody else. If this is going to be your attitude, that everyone else gets to just clock in, stand here, dick around, not clean up after themselves, not pull their fucking weight, and then I have to do it all for them because that's my job, either pay me fucking twice as much for doing 3 people's jobs, or fuck you, give my position to someone else, and I'm going to be that person. I'm going to show up, make my guests happy, and then do jack shit nothing. And then watch you come up to me and be like, Anthony, you need to step it up and do something. Oh, well, where was that attitude with this other guy? Where was that attitude with her? With the person that's called out every other fucking week on the same exact shift? Why does she work that shift if she's not going to ever fucking work it? I'm the one that comes in every single time to put out a fire. I'm the hard worker. I'm the one with the mantle of responsibility, but you've given me 0 authority. So I'm at that point where I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Why am I putting forth this effort? I should cut my workload down to 4 days a week. I should focus on my drag show. I should focus on pursuing my dreams and aspirations, because right now is like trying to buy a house, but that ain't happening during this time. Like, the housing market's fucked. So I would much rather take on these other opportunities that are coming my way. I had somebody approach me recently saying like, hey, have you ever thought about doing stand-up? Fuck yeah. I would love to try stand-up.
Actually, you would be fantastic at stand-up.
By the way, saying that, Leo wanted you to know that he thought you were hilarious and that you're super talented and you should stand up.
Excellent. I really want to try that. I want to try my hand at it, and I know full well I'm going to bomb the first like 7 times. But
well, that's, you know, anything you get into. But you, I think, would actually be fantastic for stand-up.
I just need to find that stride of like, this is the style. This is my flavor of comedy. But outside of that, like, I did a lot.
What is your dream job?
So that's just it. If my dream job in a perfect world, if I could, would be to be a graphic novelist that like helps produce animated productions of my stories. If I somehow won the lottery and had enough money, I would take that time to focus on my writing, get somebody to teach me how to work digital media, because that's my thing. If I knew how to work computers, I would have already made like 3 gigantic novels out of the stories that are in my head. I would have done these things, but I don't have the time. I don't have the knowledge. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Anytime it's like, well, just watch a YouTube video. That'll show you. And I go on and I check that video, and then I look at my device and I follow along. As soon as they say, click right here to do this, I click on it. It doesn't do that. And then I'm stuck at square one of, what am I doing wrong? I do not know what the fuck I'm not getting correctly. I'm following the video. I'm looking at this screen, but it's not syncing up. And I don't know where the disconnect is. I just wish I knew computers better. Like,
so Anthony,
if I could learn how to edit my own videos, I would have my own YouTube channel right now. I would have made like my own stuff for this channel.
We're all getting there, buddy. Don't worry.
Look, the message at the bottom. I told Metro that Tommy Bechtold from New Rockstars and I are friends. He knows all about comedy improv. When I was doing my interview with Tommy Bechtold, he said him and Eric Voss, a lot of the New Rockstars people, came up through comedy improv classes, and that's actually how they got their YouTube jobs, was through comedy improv classes. Yep. We're Midwest Rust Belt friends, Buffalo and Cleveland prior to Atlanta. Talked to him on February 11th. Anthony, just in case you don't know, because you're kind of not always in the loop on things, but we have a con coming up on February 11th. And Tommy Bechtold from the New Rockstars will be there at the con, as well as our buddy John, who we talk to all the time online, but he will finally be here in the United States on February 11th when we have our con in Fairfield. So
okay, I'm going to try to request that I could work Friday the 10th and then have the 11th off because I don't like losing a Saturday shift unless I can have my Friday. Only thing is, again, the girl who works Fridays is like, no, absolutely not. That's my day. And but at the same time, ask me 3 weeks in a row in fucking December. Hey, can you cover my shift tonight on a Friday?
Our con is going to be done.
I'm like, bitch, you're the one that didn't want to give them up to begin with. Like, what? And then
our con is going to be done by 5 p.m. But I'm hoping at least you and Aubrey can come out because we are going to have a KCP table where you are going to be signing autographs to people. Yeah. I'm putting you to work, you bitches.
It's over at 5.
Sign those autographs.
I missed that. Did you say it's over at 5 or it starts at 5?
It's over at 5.
Oh, so what time does it start?
It starts at like 11 or noon.
And where is that?
Fairfield.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, we're not too.
I haven't been out there for a minute. Oh my god! So I didn't know this. God, Anthony's Dream Job tech support. That is my living hell. Don't you dare! Hi there. Welcome to Apple. How may I help you? I'm not going to be able to help you. I am so terribly sorry. External.
Did you try turning it off and then turning it on again?
That works 90% of the time.
This actually literally happens. Yes, this actually is a big joke with all my tech friends, and this is my joke too because I worked in tech. But
Janina, what's your dream job?
So funny.
Not that she's going to answer. We got to go around with us, but I'm just give her.
Graveyard, you're quiet.
Yes.
What's your dream job?
Graveyard with graveyards.
So
actually, I already know what it is.
What is it?
Horror
OnlyFans.
Doing horror movies.
Yes,
my dream for his job.
I know.
When I pitched this topic, it was the idea of if you didn't have to worry about money. Let's say you can just whatever job you were doing as your dream job, that paid all the bills you ever needed, so you can make all your money with that, right?
Somebody's echoing, by the way. Somebody's got an extra thing on. Who is it that's got an extra TV or monitor or something on? Phone, maybe. Anyways, go ahead, Graveyard.
So my dream, there'd be a couple things I'd want to do. I know we talked about alcohol bad, brewing beer. I enjoy brewing beer because I like the chemistry, I like the science behind it, and I like the taste. That's why I drink beer.
Good night, Bucky.
Also, though, I would love to be the world's greatest extra in horror movies. I want to do 500 horror movies, and I just get killed in every single one. No speaking lines, just in.
Well, as soon as you get to California, buddy, there could be a role for you.
Yeah, so I mean that's something I've always wanted to do. It's why I used to write skits and scripts and backyard wrestling, is because that's something I really want to do. It just doesn't pay the bills for me, especially where I'm at.
Graveyard is going to be the visual Wilhelm scream. You'll just see the beard in the background every once in a while in a movie.
Oh yeah, I like the world's greatest. Actually, I just want to be in every horror movie. I don't care what the role is. I just want to be in them. And realistically,
bye, Bucky, for the second time.
Bye,
Bucky. And realistically, if I could do the podcast, if I could do the YouTube channel and game and make money and pay the bills and raise my family, I would love to do it.
That's our goal. That's what we're trying to get to, man.
It's like they said, the brewing would never pay the bills that I have. So brewers unfortunately get paid very, very low for what they make for the company. Like I said, the biggest brewery in this area, I don't know if you guys heard it out there, Three Floyds, they don't get paid jack crap for being brewers. It's just menial work, even though they make millions of dollars just for beer
right
a year.
I don't know, and I don't know how it is, and I don't know how beer is in general, but out here we have so many microbrews, dude. Mm-hmm. Like just in my town alone, we've got Heretic Beer is one. But they've got, what's popular out here, I don't know how it is where you live, but out here it'll be like little mini restaurants, but they have their own specialty brews, and maybe they'll have 20 different flavors on tap or something. We have like that.
4 or 5 of those in Lodi.
Right. And I got to assume
wineries.
Because they're so that's such a regular thing out here. I don't know if the laws are easier out here or something like that for brewers.
It's there everywhere. I can tell you, for my bachelor party when I got married in 2010. I did a brewery crawl with my friends. We got a limo and we did it. And, I'm in Indiana, and there was one brewery by my house, and then I had to go to Chicago for the other two.
Oh,
that's
Jesus.
it. That's it.
Wow.
Now, and since 2012, the next town over me had 3 breweries within a block of each other. They don't have a single McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, anything in the town. They had 3 breweries.
So what I'm hearing is that microbreweries are the new Starbucks.
Yes. And except if you want Starbucks to be most people's beer shit.
Starbucks shit, if that makes any sense.
Well, it's such a common thing now. Like the ideas are everyone jumps on the trend, but it's because it is such a huge markup. Alcohol is one of the biggest markups in the world of what it costs to make versus what you can sell it for.
Well, yeah, that's why it's the most profitable thing in a restaurant.
Right. So, but what you see nowadays is when it first started about 10, 12 years ago, it was brewers who were passionate about beer that quit their jobs, cashed in their 401ks, and started it. Now it's business people going, I want to have a brewery, therefore it's my brewery, and it's not a brewer that's in charge of it, that's not making these decisions. It's all business driven versus a passion vision.
Right.
Kind of like the record companies aren't owned by musicians; they're owned by lawyers.
Correct.
Yep.
So it's the same thing.
That's been that way since forever. It's been that way since the record companies. They were the first real big corporations. So when people talk about Elvis stealing music, no, guys, it's the record companies stealing music.
Now that I think about it,
a lot from this.
Yeah, I went there because I'm so goddamn tired about that.
Okay, so there's a guy who's a musician who I saw some TikTok of his recently about him versus the industry. Is his name Tom McDonald? Does that ring a bell? Am I correct? He's tatted all over, blonde hair, but
maybe I have seen that. I've seen.
Yeah, he's got the number 2 song on the pop charts right now, and he's the number 1 song right now is Unholy, and 16 people and 2 labels had to make that song versus me making my own song by myself. And this is the machine that we are fighting against as musicians. The music industry complex has got teams and teams and teams of people to mass produce these major hits, but we're not paying attention to enough people that legitimately create their own content that's genuinely good. Right. So
I released an album 2 years ago that was just my own music that I wrote.
Yeah.
Nothing. Crickets.
But to your point, that's why my music taste is metal and punk. Punk is anti record companies. Yeah. So they are more independent. They can do their own stuff. And realistically, with the invention of YouTube, they don't have to have record companies anymore. They can put their stuff out themselves. And Aubrey, you probably know a hell lot more of that than I do. But
I was gonna say, it seems to me that the popularization of anything that seems to be the trend, right? You start off with the people that are passionate about that thing. I was gonna say to Forrest, I think it's kind of weird that we stumbled into this because I think that's what I'm seeing happening in the lightsaber industry right now. Is you start off with people that are passionate about a project, and then you start having corporations that are like, oh, look at these guys over here, they're making a ton of money doing this little thing. What if we come in with our our equipment and our teams and stuff like that? They are able to lower the cost down so that the garage builder guy can no longer afford to compete with the bigger companies. Interestingly, we were talking in the chats today about doing movie nights or whatever, group watch movies. And I had mentioned my favorite movie that's just recently come up is Everything Everywhere All at Once. If you look at the production team on that, they had 6 graphic designers, 6 people for all the CG, all the special effects, right? You compare that to the end of a Marvel movie. I've often wondered, because before I did this, I used to do video production and we'd produce commercials or little videos. I would go out there with 3 people, a team of 3 people. Everybody's doing 4 jobs, you know what I mean? But then you look at why does it take 30 and 40 and 100 people to make the same exact product that I can make with 4 people?
Well, I mean, that's you can probably tell why that's why I like horror movies a lot too. It's because it's the independent people. It is the people that it's a family affair. It's you become a family while making the movie versus you're just a cog in the movie machine. Unfortunately,
you know, there may be some bad movies out there, but the reason why I love a lot of those kind of bad movies because the people in them are doing them have so much heart, and you can just feel it. It may not be like the most polished, beautiful movie, but you feel every single moment. Like that's one of the reasons why I love Mortal Kombat so much.
Yes,
like it was all a passion project. It was all passion.
The first one or Annihilation? That's
the first one. The first one.
Okay, good.
The first one, obviously.
The first one was
no.
okay.
You listen to people talking about it, like the guy that played Ryu, not Ryu. Sorry, that's Street Fighter. Apologize.
Oh my God,
Liu Kang. Why? Because I was thinking about how terrible Street Fighter was, and how
that is terrible.
Oh God, it has some of the most unbelievable. It's just
except for it has one of the best lines of any movie of all times in it.
It does.
It was
from one of the shittiest movies. Huh? Raul Julia's line where he says to Chun-Li something like, "For you was the day that changed,
and it was the most damaging day of your life.
For me, it was just Tuesday."
Yeah, that's a great line. But no, but the guy that plays who played Liu Kang, and he's talking about, and you just see his whole face is lit up because he's just like, this was such a passion project, and you're like, yeah, it wasn't like the most.
I remember that being a huge commercial success though when it first came out, like Mortal Kombat.
But you look at it, polishing it, the polish of it. And no, it's not. I mean, you look at it like story wise, it's kind of got a very loose story. But it's fun, and that's the thing that's great about it is that it's got so much heart that it doesn't matter. Same with Big Trouble in Little China.
Whereas number 2 looks very corporate and
right.
Yes.
Then you look at all of like John Carpenter's movies, and they are all heart. They're all really they're all here driven. And John Carpenter's like, fuck all of you all. Like I'm doing what I want. And then you got John Waters. His own stuff. He composed all of his own music. He wrote the script. He's the director. He's the producer. I mean, he does so much work on that, and it's because these are passions for him.
Well, that's what I love about Henry Selick too, is that he's another director that like really sticks to his guns of like, no, I have a story to tell, and this is the way I want to do it. Guillermo del Toro.
Same with Leonard Nimoy. My number one inspiration.
That new Pinocchio that dropped on Netflix, but it's like the best Pinocchio that's ever been made. It's so beautifully done. It's very heart-wrenching and heartwarming. It's very mature. It's really, he even says it's not meant for children. It's one that, like, if adults want their kids to watch it, they can. But that you need to be going into it ready with the concept of explaining some things to your kids after you're done, or throughout the process. But it was a passion project of his. He's wanted to do it for decades. So if you haven't watched it, go watch Pinocchio on Netflix. It's amazing. Also, go watch, what was it? It's a new stop motion. I think it was Wendell and Wild. That was the Henry Selick one. That one was just okay for me, though. I feel like it was either cheaply produced or something. I saw in an article that they had this one concept designer that's this really great, like, kind of eclectic artist. It's a very like modern day Picasso. I don't think that style translated as well to the 3D stop motion, though. I feel like if they would have made Wendell and Wild as a 2D animated film with that, it would have been a banger. But like between the two, stop motion wise, Pinocchio. Go watch Pinocchio. Passion project.
Okay, Forrest, what's your dream job, dear?
Yes,
Mrs. Forrest, what's my dream?
Did she just ask
you a question?
No,
I'm still.
No, honey, we've been through this. What's my dream job? You know this answer. What is my dream?
I know it's voice acting. I know it's voice acting, but that is not for me to tell you. It's you to tell the world.
I hope to go with you.
Yes. Well, we will be doing projects. Just so you know, Two Queens and a Force will be doing lots of voice acting projects because we are the dynamic trio. Even Matt can be on this, but the dynamic trio, we are awesome doing these projects, and they will happen.
More than anything in this life, I want to be a voice actor. I've always wanted to be.
Well, considering like all the voice acting jobs are done by the same 12 people, and they're now like in their 60s, they're gonna die at some point. Like there's hope for us yet.
Well, that's why we just gotta start doing them. Like again, we gotta get on that project doing the Legend of Zelda little project that you had, and then we gotta do other ones. So
there's a quote I put up on my page a few years ago that said, "If you can't find the world you want to live in, create it."
Yep. people are like, what kind of character do you want to be? And I was like, you know what? I want to create my own character, and I want to be badass as it. I want to be remembered as my own.
I'm the main character in my universe.
I don't want to play
with that.
Right. I want to play. I don't want to play an iconic character. I want to make an iconic character.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think that the voice project would be a great project. It's something I'd love to do too. I need practice or training how to do more voices because I kind of suck. But I'd love to be part of it. But talking about just side note, that'd be a great thing to put on the Patreon. That's something we could tease and put out there and do it. I think something we should try to do.
I just have a feeling at some point we're all gonna like put in our little things to do, like movie or something together, project.
I mean, if you think about it,
yeah, I'm introducing you to my friend Carson, Matt. Just so you know.
Okay.
If you think about it, I mean, we're already starting to do these things now, right? I mean, just simply by collaborating and getting together, we through all this, we've met John, who does this profession for video games and such, right? So all the pieces are already in motion. It's just a matter of taking the next step and saying, okay, here's the project. Who's taking which part?
God, if I could just get the right video game studio to listen to my idea, I have the best hack and slash idea for a game.
Let's hear it.
In fact,
Agent M.
Agent
Hi,
M.
honey.
Hey, there she
is in the chat.
Let's scratch this and now it looks like I'm a hardcore.
No, Agent M.
Oh my God, I have a thing in my throat.
Okay, so James wants in too, and I've actually voice acting was my dream job since I was a little kid. So I think we really need to figure out how to do some kind of a project.
Going.
Well,
we can do it.
So, Forrest, what of the voice acting? What would your ideal job to be in voice acting? Is there like, do you want to do anime? What would you like to do in voice acting? Or just all the things?
Anime. I mean, I've always wanted to be a hero in anime, like forever. I mean, one of the only opportunities I think I've ever had was at Anime Fest 06. It was in Orlando, and Chris Sabat was there, and he did a voiceover panel, and he passed out lines, and there were like 3 people chosen to, go behind the stage, and all we were given was a microphone and to voice out this line. And I was one of the only ones chosen. So I went back there and I did it. And people were like, holy crap, wow. And then the next day he did a DBZ panel where we all got in this huge line, and it was this episode where Trunks killed Frieza. And as it just went down the line, it landed on me and it was my turn. And I played a Trunks line, and it was really weird. And at the very end of it all, we all had such a great time. And Chris came up to me and he was like, what are you doing in the next few weeks? And I'm like, going back to work. I mean, my son was 1. I had this stupid, horrible, dead end ass job. And he's like, well, I've got an anime coming out called Salty Ray. And if you want to audition for it and you can be in Dallas, I'd love to have you there. And damn, if I couldn't even afford to drive out to do it, I mean, that could have been the beginning of my Funimation career. And
that would have been amazing.
Yeah, and it's
James says, how about we do a redub or something? Put it on Patreon, make it a project.
I agree.
Okay, yeah. Let's
honestly,
do that,
guys,
because that's the first time that's been mentioned.
I haven't gotten onto it in a few weeks because we've both been busy, but we really need to get on that dub.
I know. I've been
waiting for you.
It's a matter of actually just doing it. You know what I mean?
Couldn't that be where we start though? Is like do like comedy dubs, like get like some weird shit that isn't going to get you flagged, and then just like cover over it, even though it's not the real dialogue.
Public
domain. That's exactly what Team 4-Star did, and it did get them flagged, and it did get them sued.
Yeah, it did, but they kind of went out because they're like, this is satire, this is parody. I think that's how they got it.
But they also made a shit ton of money on. They made a shit ton of money on.
So then what it sounds like is we need to find canceled things that don't have a company anymore that have lawyers.
Oh, jeez.
No, we just go for broke and just see the chips fall where they lay. I mean, that's really how it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid when you do it. You just got to do the shit.
I mean,
pretty
much.
Can
almost do MST3K because it was all public domain.
Right.
Truth be told, I really just love being behind a microphone. I'm very comfortable at it.
That reminds me.
I speak clearer when I'm behind a microphone. Like, wait till I get there. I'm going to stutter my way through all of our conversations. But when I'm behind one of these bad boys, I can speak without any problems at all. It's crazy.
Fours actually did. He actually did a reading of one of my stories. It's beautiful.
Did you listen to it?
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, my narrator voice.
Yeah, he did a really good job. It's for a short that I wrote a long time ago, and yeah, we should really share it on Patreon. It's really good. So,
plus
anyway,
just doing random voices, like just impersonations are also.
I love doing voices. Voices are fun.
Oh my god!
I love.
Absolutely.
So
would
you want?
Love to read. I'm a strong, independent woman.
Shauna, be strong and independent.
Would you two please get a room already?
So, Forrest, would you want here would be the ultimate dream is to do voice acting in a video game, and then we play that video game live.
I'm going to tell you something very bad and very embarrassing. I would never get tired of listening to myself in that game. I would never get tired of it. I'd be like,
hey, if I do the music,
I'd be like, awesome. I spoke that wrong. I didn't do that part right. I should have given it more oomph here. Like you'd be like, oh my God, shut up.
So much harder.
This is why I have a really hard time watching anything I've ever done, or it takes me a while to listen to anything I've done.
I should have been more concerned.
I love watching my previous stuff just because I take notes. I'm like, okay, I did that really well. I'm really proud of that. Okay, I fucked that part up right there. Okay, cool. Like even when I lost my pageant, like the thing that made me feel better about it was the fact that I saw a video of my singing performance and went, okay, yeah, I fucked up the ending of that song. Okay, cool. That makes me feel better that I didn't win because that part right there was a pretty sour fucking note. I would dock myself points on that.
Welcome to my editing world.
Self-critical eye is always good, but otherwise I love watching my old videos, and it actually encourages me going, wow, like my drag actually is pretty good. Like I keep telling myself I'm this basic bitch, I can't dance, I can't do this, and then I go look at one of my good videos, I'm like, no, I got rhythm. Like it's not a great 8 count, it's not jumping in the splits, but like it's not terrible. It's engaging. It's fun. It still tells my story like that. So that's always fun. I love watching my own stuff.
Dude, seriously, like the profile pic you put up earlier today, I like double taked it. I was like, if we lived in a different universe, I'd ask him how.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Strapped to my chest, they are totally fake.
Well, okay, so we would have to do it with a different story because the one that Aaron did, it's basically a 2-part. There's only like really 2 parts in there that he read. So and the narrator. However, there is a story about a ship captain I have that we could all do.
A ship captain? Oh.
Yeah, Scottish ship. Yeah. Anyways, I got lots of short stories. I write. People don't know, but I write a shit ton of stuff.
Yes, she does, and she's really good at it.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, we have books that are actually going to be on Side of the New Order too. That they're companion books, lots of characters. So,
what about you, Ark? What would if all the bills were ever taken care of with your dream job? What would it be?
Oh, I know what he would do.
You do? Because I'm not sure I do. But what do you think I would do? What do you think I would do?
Dude, I think honestly, you would go back to stage poetry with a passion. Like you would just, dude, you'd probably leave the hosting up to me and Anthony, and you'd be like, I can't be on tonight. I'm too busy writing. I'm getting through this block. I'm on this. Like
you know what?
You'd be on fire, bro.
It's kind of funny that you said that. I actually enjoy producing shows more than I enjoy performing shows. I don't know what it is. I got started a little backwards. A lot of times with poets, they start off as a poet, and then because they've done it so long, they learn how to host, and they go on and host their own shows. I kind of went into it backwards. I started on the production end first, and it was watching all these poets, and one of my becoming great friends with Lucky Seven. She became my mentor and taught me about, the performance side of it. So I actually went into performance kind of later, but for me, and that's why, with this channel, actually, you talk about what would we do if money wasn't concerned. I'm actually in the process of doing it right now. There is nothing that brings me more joy than turning on my TV and seeing shows on my channel that I'm not in. I mean, I know that sounds weird, But to me, that's showing the growth of this channel, and it shows that other people believe in the vision that I originally had. It's not just me by myself. So when I, turn on the TV and it's 2 queens and a 4s, or I saw I watched the other one last night with having Philippe on with Graveyard and 4s. And Aubrey. And that was just so much fun to me. And I like knowing that I had a hand in making something that is bringing joy to other people.
Phil was such a delight having him on.
It was very cool having Phil on.
I loved it.
He was
I
hilarious.
loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I love this little marriage we have between Distance Nerding and Kyber Cave. And I'm also appreciative that everybody else seems to appreciate that relationship too. Because, obviously it was just me and Distance Nerding. Right. It was just me and Distance Nerding. But then once you guys got to know them and stuff like that, you realized how great they were too. So yeah, I would love to have a Distance Nerding show on our channel as well. But those guys, they work hard. So so as far as me, I'm already kind of in the process of living my dream. Just waiting for the money part to catch up.
Right, that part.
It's gonna get there though. It's gonna get there. It's gonna do it first. But I really like this idea of doing the dub things. I think those are fun, and getting the pictures of things. As I said, right now I've been just got the log line sort of worked out for the screenplay that I'm working on right now, which is with Karsten, he's my. We were actually in a meeting all day Thursday. It was like 4 or 5 hours working out details of things, of getting it, because we already have like the first draft done, and now it's working out for a longer story. But not only that, but really shoring up the short that we've got to get it ready for a feature, and that took a long time. But this is what I love doing. I love doing film. I love doing characters. I love doing writing. I love doing this music. I wear so many hats, and I love it. It's fun.
Hats.
Proverbial hats, metaphorical hats. Oh.
I mean,
I like our little family here, and I like being with Distant. I like the Distant Nerding too. They're part of that little family, and it's really become that way. It's really fun.
Do you guys realize right now, as it is, we have original programming 5 days a week right now?
Mm-hmm.
When I started off, it was one show, 1 day a week. Then we got Kyber Cave. It was Kyber Cave After Dark, 2 shows, 2 days a week. And then in the last 3 months, we went from 2 shows to 5 shows. And then we have a new show that is dropping next week or the week after. Beatdown will be our new show. That's going to be just basically, you're going to see lightsaber fighting with the DJ spinning music on top. So it's lightsaber battle.
Willem doesn't come at you for copyright infringement, because welcome to the Beatdown with Willem.
Right.
Brandon, that's drag queen reacting to other ridiculous videos and then just talking smack. Why can't that be the Q view? Can we just find me ridiculous things that you just send me? I'll dress up in face one day and record me and stuff like.
Van likes to keep me. No, H&M, no. We need to. No, that's not the point. The point is we've got so many ideas that are really great that we just want to do them all.
Right. It's like trying to stop a juggernaut. Hold on, real quick.
That's right. We are iconic.
Icons.
Icons.
We are in vogue.
Do you like my leg warmers that I use as arm warmers?
Yes, actually, I was gonna comment. I was like, oh my gosh, we are like kind of in sync here. I've got these here that I'm wearing, and I have a hat that looks just like.
The sad truth is, I was like, what goes with these? I was like, I know this new sweater, and then I realized my dog laid all over it, so it kind of smells funny. Like, stupid bitch. Okay.
But I am so.
Once
I'm
in my
so
throat, like 30
excited for
minutes to red. I swear I'm anemic. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I don't know.
Why do you think I'm anemic? ADHD, sparkles.
I know ADHD is such a thing. I had a story that I wanted to say, and I was like, oh wait, that was an ADHD moment. Okay, I'm glad that didn't happen.
This one time last week, no.
This one time at band camp.
We're still talking about dream jobs, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's it. I think we all went through them. If you have a dream job, please post that in the chat, because that would be great
Okay, James is really into wanting to dub something.
No, I agree. I think we should. I'm James. I'm right there with you, buddy.
I can be the male singer.
But first, you got to get your character. You better go and get your character going,
James,
or else we will have
James's dream job is to host his own show again.
Wait, what show is that?
I don't know.
As long as I get to do an accent, I'll be totally fine with whatever character I do.
Oh, Scottish sailors.
I like it.
Ship captains.
Yeah, I think Fours is on distance nerding more than James's.
And that's I've become the reality now.
I've been at this nerding a few times now. I have yet to see James on there with me.
Dude, Graveyard, you're all over the place. You're blowing up the West Coast now. You're not even out here, man. You're bombing in on all the shows, dude. Soon you'll be on like every podcast in the nation.
I'll be okay with that. If that's all I have to do. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Well, actually, we're at the 155 point right now, so this actually might be a good time for our usual closeout duties. James says, host my own show. Sounds great. I'll start one. Fours in Graveyard have logged more nerd time in this year than I have.
Oh, God.
Yeah, between KC and DN, dude, we got plenty of nerd time. All right, let's just start where we're at, Mr. Anthony.
Oh yes, what? Yes, sorry. Hi. I was pulling the fours and working on a side project while I was listening. I multitask. I'm talented and brilliant. Anyhow, so yeah, my name is Anthony, aka Rubik's Q, aka Sidorian for most of our streaming service things. Ooh, I'm furry like animal.
Is that where
I'm blowing my scruff.
Anywho. Dude, the beard again. I
do. I actually liked the beard after I did the No Shave November and got rid of it. I was like, oh, that actually gave me some nice framing to my face. And now that again, 6 days sober, I have no double chin. Like I'm stoked by this, which is great. Thank you, James. I'm my arm is feeling better. The antibiotics did do some wonders. I probably need to take this soon. Anywho, so my show will be returning. My drag show will be returning on the 18th. Woo! I was really trying to get it for this next week, but I can't because there's a commission meeting that the owners of the club are going to. Long story short.
That just means 2 queens and a 4 needs to have another recording.
This is possible. So we are coming back on the 18th. We have completely reformatted our design, though. It is now. I've listened to the public. The number one comment I had was that it was just too late for most people for the middle of the week. So now it is a dinner and drag show. We feature food starting at 7. We are going to have vegan options available because I know a number of my people are vegan and have dietary needs. So there's going to be like a vegan chili. There's going to be a vegan salsa. We're going to have bruschetta that if you don't want the Parmesan cheese on it, we can take that off. And then outside that, we're going to do like a barbecued pulled chicken sandwiches. There's going to be meat chili, fries if you want to upgrade for that kind of stuff. And then we're going to have our show start at 7:30. So on top of that, I'm now kind of joining the format of a lot of other shows and limiting my cast. Before I was like having like 8-10 people a night, and it made it a little too overwhelming. So now I'm going to bring back what I used to do in Stockton, which is have a cover charge of $5 that comes with a drink ticket that doubles as a raffle ticket. The drink ticket gets you either the drink of the night, which is a specialty mixture I will be making, or if you're not drinking that night, it gets you a soft drink or a water or whatever, just because we need to have money come into the business for it to succeed. Far too many people are just showing up and be like, I'm sober, give me a free drink of water. And then they just like sit there all night. Like that doesn't work for us. Right. But anywho, getting that going, I finally figured out how to remove the backgrounds from people's pictures to put on my posters.
Wow.
I can be taught. What? I mean, granted, it's literally a button that I just found on post from my wall. It could have been a new feature. I don't give a fuck. I now have functioning poster work, and I'm stoked for it. But yeah, we are coming back the 18th, really strong and hard. Phrasing. Okay. And outside of that, I'm stoked because I have a brand new epic drag. Like, I told myself I wasn't going to keep spending money on drag. And then, of course, I've already spent like $350 on one outfit just because I want to come back and look fucking stunning. And that's just how I do. I'm going to find an excuse to use it 3 more times at like 2 or 4 more venues and just get my money's worth out of it. But between that and hair and other things, yeah, about $300.
This is who I'm going to go with my cosplay. This is who I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to have do my
I still need a new Kyrie for one of my cosplays. I still need to get.
We are going to go cosplay shopping because I am the worst at doing it, and I need someone who knows how to do it.
I need someone who can teach me how to make armor so I could be fucking Lenneth Valkyrie.
Let's do it.
No idea.
Let's do it. I have a basic knowledge of how that works.
It will be engraved upon your soul. Divine assault.
Nibelung Valesti.
God, I'm so good. I'm turning into Potato Lane, aren't I?
Turning into
all right.
And I know you're Mew, but
come see me on the 18th in Lodi's premiere drag show, Dinner and Drag, 7 o'clock.
Is that Wednesday? That's a Wednesday, isn't it?
It is a Wednesday. I know. Why do we have to have similar shit going on?
Yeah, you need to come to one of my shows, and I need to come to one of yours.
Well,
I know.
Now we're only doing it the 2nd and 3rd week of the month, so I could technically still come out one time. We're not doing it weekly until it gets busy again. So,
woo!
Middle of the month. That's my catchphrase, and we're going for it.
Graveyard.
Yes. So I am Graveyard. I am co-host of the Mostly podcast, which you can find any place you can find your podcast. We release new episodes every Wednesday. On top of that, you can find me playing the game or have it be in the beer and chair for Retro Alcove that comes out every Monday. And then Thursday nights is, as long as Distance Learning still has me on, I'll be on there as much as I can. And then catch us live gaming Thursday night, and then Kyber Cave After Dark on Fridays.
Wait, so you do Distance Learning and the live gaming on Thursday nights?
Yes.
Yep.
He's on whore. He's on everything, okay?
What an attention whore. Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
I know. It really does. I'm just like, wow, he's suddenly on Distant Nerding as well. And then he's everywhere. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Oh my God, it's fair.
All right, Miss Aubrey.
Hi, I'm just Aubrey. No, I'm an actor. I do all the things. You heard. I do all the things. I wear all the hats. I play games. I'm a nerd.
She's in a band called Bio Lightsaber.
Yes,
it will
I'm
always
in a
be
band
Lightsaber.
called BYL. You should go check it out. It's on. We have Sirens. That's on YouTube. We have stuff on. We have. Sorry, I got ADHD'd by James. James, stop. I have my own album on Spotify as well. I do lots of things. I have acting stuff that you can look up. Please don't. It's awful. Just the stuff itself is kind of terrible. I'm waiting to get better projects, so I'm trying to do. I have some good projects. Anyways, yeah. That's what I do. I'm an actress. Yay.
All right.
Actress, singer, extraordinaire. Yeah.
Mr. Force.
If you own a lightsaber, and I heavily implore upon you all, go to kybercave.com and buy a lightsaber. You can go to saberfont.com, get a lightsaber sound font that you can put on any of those bad boys and just really enjoy it. Tuesdays and Thursdays on both episodes of Distance Nerding, you can find me, I guess, on the regular now. Thursday nights, you can catch me playing live games with Graveyard, a few of the Retro Alcoves. You'll catch me here on Fridays. And what the hell else do I do? Oh yeah,
watch for Two Queens and a Fours on YouTube.
Yes, watch for Two Queens and a Forbes.
And Two Queens and a
Fours. I swear to God, I'm going to actually dress up for one of our sessions soon.
Yes, as well.
I forgot to share my socials, and I forgot to talk about my karaoke show, but that's fine. I forgot.
And then go to
Aubrey's karaoke show.
Just go and do the things. Sorry, James, stop.
Will you guys let Forrest finish, please?
Yes,
no, never.
I'm going to be in the doghouse later. I know it. Go ahead. Please.
Okay, I'm finished.
Please, honey.
And Mrs. Fords and I are finishing up Last of Us very, very soon, and then we'll be starting a new game following that. So, yes,
Mario RPG will also be being played.
It's going to be a very, 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 very busy year for me and Kyber Cave. In addition to that, I'm trying to be thinner every time you guys see me every single week. And in April is the big arrival, and I'm still waiting, Anthony, on the Forza is Coming to Cali stickers.
I'm working on it. Give me a break. I've been working on paintings. I had all sorts of shit at work. I've got my fucked up arm. I'm quitting drinking. I haven't been smoking. Lay off of me. I'm on
Very soon, you'll find this face in California.
You're fine.
I'll get it. I'll get on it right now. Redbubble.com.
All right, y'all. My name is Ark Excala with the Kyber Cave. We are up to 5 original shows every week, and we have a 6th show that will be coming on Tuesdays, starting in a new week, about a week and a half, 2. Very excited, called The Beatdown. Make sure to check that out. Saber Rattle is coming back this Sunday night. We have taken our 2-week vacation, and we are back. We actually have a really big show. We have Faisal Main from London will be in here, as well as Chad Ironmonger from the TPLA. TPLA is one of the first, that's called Terra Prime, one of the first Saber legions in the United States. And this show is going to be talking about an accord that's happened between the United States and Europe to kind of like make sabering uniform across the planet. We're getting closer and closer to our spot in the Olympics. See, you can see Anthony's ready for Olympics. I do 3 shows a week on this channel. The shows that I do are on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Wednesdays, you can check me on Hearts of Kyber, where we talk about mental and physical disabilities. We pick a different topic every week and see how it relates to pop culture. Kyber Cave After Dark on Fridays and Saber Rattles on Sundays. So please make sure to check out kybercave.com. We have lots of sabers there for you. And check out our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can help this program. You can get access to exclusive content as well. And Mez and I are currently, not as we're speaking this moment, but earlier today we were working on the designs. We have a basic idea for our first hoodie. It's going to have the KCP logo on the front, and on the back we'll have the logos from each of the shows. So we need to make sure we have the logos locked down for our shows. I'm looking at you, Graveyard and Force.
Mezzo has full access to all that stuff. There's an entire folder.
Graveyard and I are on like 50% of all the shows on this damn channel.
Now I gotta think of a design for the new order, so that's gonna be great.
Yes, I will be excited. That's the one that I'm really excited for, because once we hit new order, Kyber Cave will officially have original programming 7 days a week. That like blows my mind.
Need to get certain. There seems to be a few people that need to get their character.
I told you I have people that want to play.
I know you do, but I'm trying to give these people a chance to get their character.
They nerd out very distantly from her.
Very distantly, apparently.
They nerd out very distantly from her. So I mean,
and they really like pickles.
They do like.
Really nice. Man, the pickles are good. I love pickles. Dill pickles are the best.
No. Not grind.
All right, y'all. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us, tuning in, and hanging out with us tonight. I wanted to ask, there was that, who was that? Let's see. I'm going through the name list right now. Bucky's a new person, huh? Who's Bucky?
Bucky is a friend of Mezzo.
Bucky is from New Rockstars.
Oh, shit. Well, because I saw him mentioning New Rockstars.
So I'm wondering if somehow New Rockstars is going to be another sister show in the future. I have a feeling.
Wow, how cool would that be?
I think that'd be amazing.
We're gonna leave our 4 million channel subscriber plus channel and come over to your 1,000 channel subscribers.
No, I just mean like it might be just some cross. Some cross.
Oh yeah, I mean I met Mezzo, Frey Girl, and Bucky through New Rockstars. So
right.
Yeah,
well, okay, so
what I mean.
Mezzo is a moderator for New Rockstars as well as Frey Girl. So that's how we got Frey Girl in. Apparently now their ranks are growing because Mezzo, she got to meet Eric Voss. They were the ones that did the gift exchange, and then because she knows Tommy, we were able to book Tommy for our event. So Tommy's actually going to be hosting KyberCon 3. He will be the host with Distance Nerding. So, at which like Philippe is freaking out about because he will get to work with Tommy Bechtold. But we'll be doing different giveaways every hour and different contests and stuff like that. So we'll have DN kind of DJing and nerding, doing the contest, and Tommy announcing, which will be a lot of fun for all the peoples involved. So, yes, thank you everybody who has tuned in every week. So happy to see Anthony back in here whenever we have Anthony.
It's lovely to be back. I'm sorry the holidays just kind of kicked my ass. I was so dead to the world last week. I was
miss you, man.
Friday.
I keep texting him every once in a while. I'm like, I miss you.
Where are you? I'm sorry. I swear now work is slowing down a little bit. I have a bit more.
I feel like a little bit of a stalker now, Anthony. I'm like,
it's
okay.
Like,
I miss you. And you're
you
like,
don't necessarily know where I live. Like, do you? Like,
no, actually, I all jokes aside, I do not want to be labeled a stalker for anything.
Okay, cool.
That's awful. There's Bucky.
Bucky,
Bucky.
You said you were going to
suck
bed.
Bucky
Go
into
to
this
bed,
crew
Bucky.
too.
God damn it! I don't know where you are. I think you're up until like 2 in the morning, aren't you?
He's on force time.
I'm gonna be up.
We're
like
gonna have to get Bucky
anyway.
a show on here. Everybody gets a show. Where's Janina? Janina gets a show.
You get a show. You get a show. We're all voice acting.
Anyways, I should probably.
All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next Friday, and like I said, tune in every day. There's always something fun and exciting to watch here at the Kyber Cave. So until next time, adios, you piece of toast.
Bye. Bye. See you.
Bye.